Oh, fuck. I defy you to tell me that at some point in your life you did not like Lego. As a kid, I religiously worshipped the stuff to a dangerous extent, and who could blame me? Lego's appeal is so broad that it can be enjoyed by kids who create worthless pieces of wank, to even adults who have created some of the most insane shit out of Lego. Landmarks, cities, sculptures, a life-sized house and car, natural disasters, you name it. But why does Lego have such mass appreciation? Well, I guess it's the fact that it can be anything. As a toy for kids, they can make it into whatever they want. And I suppose the same goes for adults when creating things like, oh, I don't know, perhaps a fully functioning car. Fucking seriously? I mean, almost anything can be made out of Lego. There is no limit to what you can do besides your imagination. And about $500. What? What? Yes, unfortunately, even the Lego company aren't innocent of typical corporate behaviour, and now more than ever they have been diverting further and further away from this idea of imaginative play. Having snapped up almost every licensed brand on the goddamn planet, Lego is willing to milk every resource at its disposal for all it's worth. You want to build the Millennium Falcon? Well, cough up your life savings, bitch. And now this unimaginative mentality has crept its way into the Lego video games. Now don't get me wrong, I think the Traveller's Tales Lego games are fine, hell I loved some of the earlier ones, but they have just worked themselves into this repetitive formula of the same basic co-op driven platformer. It's like Call of Duty in a way. While they are well made games, as of late it really shows their repetitive nature and lack of creativity. The reason I tell you this is because I want to bring you back to a time when Lego games really did try to be different and creative. Yes, long before the time when everyone's fucking nan and their cat had a Lego game adaptation made of them, we had a helping of games that were all original Lego licenses and really tried to do a lot of things different from each other. The Lego Island trilogy, the Creator series, Lego Loco, Rock Raiders, and Lego Racers, just to name a few. And all these games varied in gameplay and genre, such as platforming adventure, real-time strategy, sandbox, simulation, and then in 1999 it dipped its foot into the kart racer scene with Lego Racers. A bold move, especially considering the competition at the time, with Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing dominating the N64 while CTR was killing it on the PlayStation. Lego Racers needed to do something big to stand out amongst the crowd in order to simply compete. Now, some of these Lego games did release on consoles, but they were all ideally made for PC first and foremost, so the PC versions are definitely the preferred way to play these games. But just for shits and giggles, and because the PlayStation 1 is my jam, we'll be looking at the PS1 version for this video. Now to begin the game, pick our save slot, and now we just need to wait. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Da 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 da. Okay, enough of the fun. Now, the game actually has somewhat of a loose story, mainly revolving around this guy called Rocket Racer, who is apparently such a good racer that no one can beat him, and so he wants to find a competitor who can prove a challenge to him. But before we can even think about racing anyone, let alone Rocket Racer, we need someone to race as. And Lego Racer's most standout feature is the ability to build your own car and driver, and well shit, it's actually a really fun concept. Now to simply craft a perfect racer to reflect my good self. Okay, a green hat because I like the colour green, a skeleton head because I'm dead inside, sleeveless torso so that my muscles showing because I've been hitting the gym lately, you know, and brown pants because I shit myself. Just gotta get a snapshot from my license. Yeah, that's terrifying. But a driver is just a driver. What we need now is an amazing vehicle, and I must say building your own cars is very fun. It's nice and easy to do, and there's a large variety of parts to choose from, and although quite restrictive in where you can place them, it still allows for some nice creativity. So now I have all the resources at my disposal and my vivid imagination. I can create anything I want, a dream car that really shows the lengths of my creativity. So I built a penis. Now, I like to think that perfection can't be improved, but I feel it needs some more speed, so I'll add some turbo boosters onto the back. And now the magnum opus of cars is complete. I call it the Nitro Knob. Okay, so unfortunately, no matter how you build your car, the handling will not change, regardless of what kind of bricks you use and where they're placed. And instead it's determined by what chassis you use. Well anyway, we have our perfect driver and car, so let's get started with the game's main mode, Circuit Races. Essentially a tournament mode where we have to complete a 4-race tournament and earn points based on what position we finish each race in, and simply have the most points at the end of a circuit to win. Each circuit is hosted by a circuit champion who always performs a lot better than the other AI racers. And our first one is this pirate called Captain Redbeard, who is just, well, an arsehole. No worries though, I'll put him in his place once I beat him. I didn't put him in his place because I didn't beat him. Okay, so upon starting this, the PS1 version has kind of caught me off guard. Now, I'm definitely more used to playing the PC version of the game, so it is very jarring when I realise that the PS1 version has some serious control issues. For starters, it's one of those PS1 games that doesn't support the analog stick, which for me personally is a huge problem. I'm just more accustomed to using it, especially for car races. Being stuck using the D-pad is incredibly uncomfortable and not entirely precise. And now I know some people may argue that keyboard keys are quite similar, but keyboard keys are much more fluent and ergonomic, whereas an early DualShock D-pad is not quite so. It makes it especially annoying when drifting and power sliding, which are a key part of most car races. But in LEGO races, it's extremely sensitive, and turning normally isn't going to do shit as you barely turn at all. And since these tracks are made up of a lot of twists, turns and tight corners, you're pretty much required to use the power slide constantly. And with the stiffness of the D-pad, it's not great, and while I did kind of adapt to it the more I played, it was still a ball ache on my thumb. But aside from these control issues, LEGO Racers plays like most kart racers would. You race around in a fun and hectic way, picking up power-ups and using them as you do, and I must say they are a particular highlight of this game for me. The power-ups are represented by bricks that come in 4 different colours, with each colour representing a different power-up type. The blue bricks are shields, reds are projectiles, yellows are hazards that you can leave behind, and the greens are turbo boosts. But what makes this cool is the fact that there are these white bricks that upgrade the power up, and you can stack up to 3 white bricks with each brick upgrading it by 1 tier. So essentially you have 16 power ups overall with 4 variations of each type. So for example, the shields can be upgraded to last longer, the red brick projectile can be upgraded to a grappling hook or electric zapper, while the green boosts can be made even faster and longer. But the best power-up, as I'm sure most people who have played this game will agree, is gathered by collecting a green brick and 3 white bricks, giving you the ability to travel through space and fucking time, essentially teleporting you further ahead in the track. Now, as cool as this power-up is, it is quite flawed in the fact that it's very easy to abuse. Since it is very easy to acquire, and since most of the time the AI racers don't use it at all. So there were a couple of races where because of this power-up I just soared ahead of the other racers, pretty much taking any challenge out of it. Then again, this was a few races, as in this first circuit I did have a bit of a rough time, as this game is a bit more difficult than I remember. I don't know, I don't remember it being this challenging in the PC version, so why is it so hard here? I don't know if it's the controls or the AI, but it certainly feels different. Regardless of this, however, I managed to whoop this nautical knobhead's ass and move on to the next circuit. And by beating a circuit champion, you unlock their car set, meaning more character parts, another chassis, and more bricks to build more cars with. Effectively meaning that you can play as the circuit champions, which is nice. And so on to the next circuit, hosted by this tribal chief called King Kahooka, and I'm pretty sure this is racist, right? Now, unlike the last circuit, which was a bit challenging, this one is actually a pushover in comparison. Some of the circuit champions do tend to have a certain tactic or behaviour pattern that you can learn in order to beat them. For example, Captain Redbeard mainly focused on using red bricks and waiting until we got in front of him, meaning I had to plan around that since he could attack me at any moment. But King Kahooka only picks up shields to defend himself and is never really that aggressive, making him quite easy to beat. But now going into the third circuit, hosted by this guy called Basil the Batlord, a title that would be a lot more intimidating if his first name wasn't fucking Basil. And holy shit, the difficulty here just went from being a cakewalk to ripping my fucking pubes off hard. I mean, Jesus, this circuit is relentless. For some reason, the AI is extremely aggressive all of a sudden, and Basil really does put up a fight, and he doesn't even have any tactics that you can get down. He just does everything he can to beat you, and fuck, even the other racers who normally pose no threat go out of their way to dick you around. It also doesn't help that this circuit is made up of what I think are the 4 hardest tracks in the game, complete with plenty of hazards and plenty of twists and turns. And after a while, it just made my blood boil. But to be fair, it was at this part where the races were at their most hectic and where the challenge was at its hardest where I actually felt the most engaged in the game, since I needed to be more focused in order to win at this point. And so I definitely spent a reasonable amount of time on this part, but at least that long time did allow me to actually take in and really appreciate the game's presentation. And it's very pleasant to look at, it's very colourful and vibrant, and the whole blocky style really does work quite well with the PS1 graphics. And along with the nice touch of all the races and tracks being based off actual real LEGO themes themselves, themselves. The music is also very pleasant and is certainly a focal point, as the main menu made it clear to us at the beginning. It manages to give each track plenty of identity while matching the fast and frantic pace of the gameplay. Well, after lots of blood, sweat, tears and probably sheer fucking luck, I managed to beat Basil and move on to the next circuit. What? Wait, no, I've done this track already, haven't I? Oh, for fuck. So yes, in a rather shitty turn of events, the next 3 circuits are the exact same circuits we just did, except that we race the tracks in reverse order and that they're mirrored. And Christ, I'm sorry, but this is just such a lazy fucking excuse to pad out the game's length. I mean, I'm fine with mirrored tracks as an optional thing or in the arcade mode, but forcing you to play it as a way to extend the main mode out? Bullshit. And it follows the same difficulty pattern as the last 3 circuits as well. The 4th champion, Johnny Thunder, collects red bricks and is a tiny bit challenging like Redbeard, and then the next guy, Baron Von Baron, only uses shields and is a complete pushover like King Kahuka. And my fucking god, the next one, Gypsy Moth, pretty much broke me. It's even harder than Basil's circuit, having to race on these really hard tracks except mirrored this time. And the AI shows you no goddamn mercy. If I were to describe how it feels, I would say it's about as fun as getting perpetually punched in the dick. Almost to the point where afterwards that if it was physically possible to curb stomp myself, I would have done it. And, well, God knows how, but by some miracle, I actually managed to beat Gypsy Moth and make it to the final race against Rocket Racer. So me and my Nitro Knob are sitting here looking pretty proud of ourselves, only to then be greeted by the man himself. And he taunts us by saying that he'll wait for us at the finish line. Oh yeah, this dickhead went there. The final race is a single 3-lap race on Rocket's own track, and the challenge here is really down to Rocket's tactic, which unfortunately for us is the exact same tactic as ours, abuse the teleport boost. So really, you just gotta get in front of him quick enough at the start to steal some bricks away from him so you can gain a good lead. And I actually didn't find him all that challenging, at least compared to circuits 3 and 6, and I managed to beat him on about my 4th or 5th attempt. Congratulations, I knew you had it in you, mate. Oh, so now you're getting all pally-pally now that I've beat you. Yeah, just give me a car, you kiss ass. You're the greatest LEGO racing champion of all time. Of course, I'll just ignore the several million other people who've played this game and who have been told the same thing. And that is LEGO Racers. A good kart racer? Yeah. But a great kart racer? That's debatable. While the game's building mechanic is definitely the main draw here, it can only go so far when you realise that it's purely aesthetic. And while at times I was invested, I have to admit it was due to the high difficulty. And for a young audience, which let's not kid ourselves is the target audience for this game, the difficulty is way too much in my opinion. But the game was still very fun at times and has very nice presentation and cool features. But I would urge anyone to play the PC version over the console port, since as is the case with most of the classic LEGO games, these are the superior versions. And well, I was going to spend all this money on the poor, dying, hungry orphans fund. But instead, I think I'll spend it on this LEGO Harry Potter train at the very reasonable price of about 400 quid. See you later. 400 quid, fuck my life. Hi there everyone, Z here. Just first off, thank you so much for watching this video. It means a lot if you are. Please do like and subscribe if you like it, but don't feel obliged to. But yeah, I need to also apologise for how long it's been since my last video. About 2 months. No, more than 2 months. Yeah, it was late February, Jesus. Yeah, March and April were not good months for me. A lot of stuff came up that either left me too busy or just lacking the motivation to get the video done. And I've only recently started to get back into the sort of the flow of things, but I'm now back into it and I'm really hoping to crack on with things now. And so yeah, but before we go any further, I do want to give a massive shout out to a Mr. What Up Nico, because as you may have noticed, my channel has got a bit of a redesign. It's looking a lot more just looking lovely and professional, and I have to thank that to this amazing graphic designer, What Up Nico. He has done stuff for other YouTubers like Balrog, Ant Dude, Professor Juice, Scarfulu. He's also done the t-shirt designs for Cadicrus. He also did Peanut Butter Gamer's Zelda Month stuff, and all the stuff he's done is fantastic. He does other things as well, like logo remasters. And I'm going to put a link in the description to his Behance page where you can see his portfolio of all the amazing things he's done. Literally, he is so awesome. I did commission him to do all this, and it was worth every penny. Seriously, I absolutely love what he's done, and I cannot thank him enough. So please do check him out. Yeah, again, I'll link it in the description. But yeah, So, where am I going to go from here with the channel? I'm hoping to get another ZEECRAZYGee review video out before the end of the month. I want to get it done before the end of the month because if June, I've got a few things planned. Because end of June, it'll be the sort of like 1 year anniversary since I started uploading these kind of videos. And to honour that, I want to do a video that I've wanted to do for so long. And all the ideas I've got planned for it, I already know it's going to be a long video, but and it's going to take the whole month to do. So that's why I want to leave the whole month free, just to work on that constantly. But the whole month is not going to be bare because I've decided to actually cover E3. Yeah, I'm putting in. I really want to do like a just a funny little piss take of E3, sort of like what Lar McDouchebag and Donkey do. I'd love to do that, so I think I'll do that for when E3 comes around, and then put in like a list, like a top 10 list of like games I liked at E3 or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, that's what's going on in the future. And yeah, once again, sorry for how long it's taken, but anyway, thanks for hearing me out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. Ta-da! And that is LEGO Racers. A good kart racer? Yes. A great kart racer? That's the... fuck.